Bootleg Kev Show special guest pulled up with the Grand Marnier, Mickey Factz.
Smicky, what up, man?
Yo, I don't think enough people in hip hop know about Grand Marnier because you're the only rapper I've ever seen off that Grand Marnier, man.
Yeah, that's the way it's supposed to be.
That's that orange shit.
Yeah, liqueur.
Is this something like this is like your go-to?
It's been my go-to as of late. I was heavy on it in 09 when I did my deal at Jive, and I just started picking it back up recently.
All right, so when I think of Mickey Factz, I think of golden era of the blog era of rap music.
Yeah, yep.
At the time, there was Not Right, there's Two Dope Boys, all these just staples, and you know, really the real A&Rs of that era were those blog sites, right?
Yep.
And you were one of the forefathers of that era. I feel like, you know, you kind of, you know, grandfathered a lot of that shit that was going on at that time, man. And, you know, obviously was on the second freshman cover.
Yep.
The one that really made the freshman cover like
blow up
thing. Because that first freshman cover was cool. It
was cool.
Great artists on there, but it wasn't like really a thing until the second one hit.
Second one hit, it changed the game. Because the first one, as great as I thought it was a great cover, but it didn't do too well. It
was like Crooked Eye, Joel Ortiz, Lupe. Was Boosie on there?
Boosie was on there. Yeah. Saigon.
Yep.
Pap. It was a couple people on there. The thing about it was like the game was changing from the streets to the internet. And when Dayton Thomas got there, he was like, I want to do a freshman cover and I want to cover the blog, the people who was big on the blogs. They said, hell no. And he fought and made it happen because the last one didn't sell well. When we did that one, that's like the top selling. That was one of the top selling magazines.
Yeah, because it was you, Asher Roth, Wale, B.O.B.,
Charles Hamilton, Corey Guns.
Every time I hear Charles Hamilton's name, I was such a big fan.
Free Charles, he's locked up right now.
Oh, is he? Shit. Yeah, Corey Guns. Was Ace Hood on there?
Ace Hood, Cuddy, Currency,
wow,
and Blue.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a crazy cover.
That's a crazy cover.
It's nuts.
And it's funny too because at the time, I remember like the people who you were like, It was like Ace Hood. Ace Hood made the cover, and I was like, I mean, obviously Ace Hood went on to have hit records and like a great career and stuff, but like
incredible.
But yeah, no, it was such a. To me, it just kind of really time stamped the era perfectly.
Perfectly, it was a perfectly balanced. Like Thanos would say.
You know, was there a lot of camaraderie between a lot of you guys on that cover at the time?
At the time, me and Corey were very cool. I was a fan of Blue. Me and Currency was super cool. Me and Wale had a little bit of issues. Me and Cuddy had did a record. We were cool. Me and Charles were cool. I had met Ace Hood that day. So for the most part, I was cool with everybody there.
What were the issues you had with Wale?
It was just some music stuff. Like I was trying to get some music done with him. Me, him, and Pusha, I was trying to get a track with us three on it, and it just didn't happen. So I kind of took offense to that. I was new to the game, so I didn't really understand what was going on. I didn't know how. I thought if somebody sent you a record and you know you guys on the same level, you coming up, you just get it done. But he was real busy at the time. He couldn't get to it. So that was like one of my first lessons in the industry. But I took it to heart, and that's why we kind of had issues at that time.
Was it an awkward shoot?
It was a very awkward shoot. It's very awkward. But you know, there was darker forces behind the scenes, and when he kind of realized what was going on, he kind of spun the block and was like, yo, my fault, I understand what you was trying to do, and there was people that was in my ear at the time, so he apologized, and we kind of got behind it after that. Yeah,
it's crazy because if you look at a lot of the guys on that cover, right, there's so much like what ifs on that cover, right?
Yeah.
Like what if Asher Roth came out 5 years later? Because I feel like Asher Roth missed kind of the window to be like, I guess what Jack Harlow is now, or what G-Eazy and Mac, like you know what I mean? I think when Asher Roth came out, I don't think people really got it all the way.
I think all of us, when you look at that cover, all of us were the guinea pigs for every other artist that came out after. From you take someone like Asher, like you said, people saw that, and then you have Mac Miller afterwards. You look at somebody like Blue. You see that, and then after Blue, you have like a Fashawn, or you have a J. Cole,
right?
Currency, right? Like Currency was just incredible. After that, you get Wiz. So like people saw what the mistakes that we may have made and just kind of was like, okay, I'm gonna stay away from that and kind of do this, or I'm gonna do this, or I'm gonna work with these guys that came out before us. And
what about for you? What do you think, like for you, maybe, you know, were the things that transpired that maybe kind of prevented you from reaching your full potential? Because you had full record deals and all that shit. Like,
two main things were people taking my style, being a little bit more popular than me at the time. I was the guy doing skinny jeans. I was the guy who was fashion forward. I was the guy putting a song out every week on the internet when nobody was doing it.
Yeah, you did that. It was either you or Crooked I.
Crooked I did the freestyles. Shout to Crooked I. He did the freestyles every week. I was putting out songs. Like I put Drake. Drake was on that series when nobody knew who Drake was. Cudi was on that series. You know, Corey was on that series. Like when I was doing that, it felt different. Buckshot was on that series. It was just a whole bunch of craziness. So I think that mixed with the fashion, people kind of took the skinny jeans because people were baggy. Like
for sure,
people were crazy looking at the time. So those two things, and then Jive folding. When Jive folded, that was the end. That was the end of my trajectory, because now I'm moving on to RCA. I did a deal with RCA because I didn't get dropped. It's just the label folded. So the people did get dropped, but I had got another deal. It's the same. Me and Justin Timberlake on the same label, so he got moved to RCA or Epic, and I got moved to RCA. Did a new deal, but it's people who didn't believe in me and understand.
Yeah, the same people who were A&Rs, the people who brought you on the team, they're no longer there.
They're no longer there.
And when you're like that in a building, it's like you're in no man's land.
It's no man's land. So that's what happened, and that's the reason why it kind of just fell apart.
It happens a lot, right? Especially, it doesn't even happen when the label folds. It happens when someone gets fired.
Yep. Then you get somebody who doesn't care.
New president comes in, they didn't sign you. They don't believe in you.
They just following the numbers, the analytics. So that's kind of what happened to me in that space. And you know, stuff like that has happened to a lot of artists.
Oh, for sure.
And a lot of them haven't recovered.
XV, somebody who signed with Warner and just they didn't know what the fuck to do with him, and he was an alien. Like XV was like Kendrick Lamar level talent. Insane.
Huge support system and fan base, but like you said, once you get into that system, they were still moving by the archaic rules. You know, get a radio record, do some promo, whereas the internet was just coming along. Spotify hadn't started yet. Spotify and it was SoundCloud was around that time when he got his deal. So like things, you know, the labels didn't know what to do. The blogs were in charge at the time, so it was tough for them to figure out how to make money off of a world where it's post Napster, presently Z-Share and Hulkshare, Media Fire, and then we're right before SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Music, and things like that.
You know, it's crazy because like when you think about that cover, is like, you know, so like I was a huge Charles. I mean, I was a huge fan of B.O.B. B.O.B. obviously went on to have hit records and stuff. But it also took a while.
Yeah, it took him 2 years.
Yeah, you know, like I even think about like Cole. Like Cole was the year after or 2 years later.
Cole was the year after. He was on the 2010 cover.
I think of like even Cole, like they didn't know what to do with Cole forever.
He popped in 2012.
Yeah, like it was like, bro, like it was a weird era for the industry because like you said, like it's like, how do you monetize this internet buzz if there isn't a hit record? Because the labels now, as long as it streams, it doesn't matter if it gets played on the radio.
It took them 10 years to figure it out.
Yeah.
Because Napster pops up 02, 03. And, you know, then you have whatever else streaming sites that was out around that time. I forgot what the other ones were. But then it just kept moving forward. YouTube, 05, you know, MySpace, Twitter. Everything just started. So the labels were confused. You know, when I first joined Twitter, nobody was on Twitter.
Right.
There was no labels on Twitter. There was no news sites on Twitter. There was nobody on Twitter. So once they started to get the hang of it, then they started to put their minds together and was like, we're gonna take over by doing this, doing that. And now the streaming services, it's back to the way it was. They're in control again.
Yeah, it's almost like Carl Cherry's like the new SK, kind of, right?
Carl Cherry.
Or like, you know, because you would think like, I mean, I saw with my own eyes, like if you could get Shake or Meg to post your shit on Two Dope Boys, like it literally like will change your life.
Life changing.
Yeah.
If SK posted you, forget about it.
Over. Like in the real like early stages, Not Right was the blog. period. It was Nah Right, and then, you know, everyone else was coming up, but Nah Right was like the standard. Like if you got on Nah Right, it was like, oh shit, this I got it. I listen to everything on Nah Right.
I was on Nah Right 3 times a week.
That's crazy.
Every week for the year, I was on it 3 times a week.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I miss the era of music because it did feel like those guys had like legitimate love for quality, and I think that the blog era, at least the gatekeepers, in my opinion, were the best gatekeepers we've ever had because they were the most tuned in, and they, you know, like I'm real over the years was really tight with Shake and Mac and those guys, and like they like genuinely, like if they didn't like your music,
they didn't post it.
Yeah, and that's different, right? Because now you're gonna get on a playlist because it's an algorithm, or because, like, you know, even if the song sucks, if you're the bigger name or you're on a label, you're getting on Rap Caviar. Even if someone who's running that playlist is like, this shit is ass. As to where back then, I feel like at least the gatekeepers were like hip hop nerds,
and they wrote about it. It was always,
and they had a post where they typed, and it was like, yo, like they took pride of like help building people's careers. Like,
yeah, I owe my career to Nah Right and all of the blogs on Smash, Two Dope Boys, even World Star Hip Hop.
World Star, yeah.
They were, when they first were starting out, you know, they were underneath Nah Right, and then, you know, the fights helped them, but a lot of times it was the music, my freestyles that would go up there. It would help build up the site, you know. So, you know, a lot of these places was just starting out. Even Hip Hop DX, all hip hop, they were just starting out.
Do you remember the forum days before the blogs?
Hip Hop Game.
Hip Hop Game. There was realistnwords.com. I used to download all my mixtapes off of Slums of Boxton.
Oh my gosh. You know, back then, Jay Electronica, he would post links and then delete them.
Oh, really?
He would go into these chat rooms, into these forums, post a link to like Act 1 or Act 2, and then delete it.
That's crazy. Yeah, those that's how I got my name. I would illegally download mixtapes and albums from those forums and then go to the swap meet when I was 16 and sling them bitches.
Wow.
Yeah. I used to sell mixtapes and bootleg albums when I was in high school.
That's crazy.
Hey, what up, man? We got to interrupt the interview real quick to tell you about our family at Odd Socks. Now, when I be riding for Odd Socks so hard, man, it's because I really love the product. They got the most comfortable socks in the fucking world. I got a pair of Odd Socks Basics on right now. Go get those. They got the socks, WWE joints, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to The Undertaker, Pepsi, motherfucking, really whatever you need. Some weed socks, Nickelodeon. But really, they got the draws now, ladies and gentlemen. I'm holding a pair of Tapatio underwear right now. You want some Pop-Tarts on your dick? Pop-Tart draws. And these motherfuckers are so comfortable. Like, man. So listen, you got to go to oddsocksofficial.com and use the promo code, the discount code Bootleg Kev at oddsocksofficial.com. You'll save 20% off underwear, the most comfortable socks in the world. Crazy licenses. Not only they got the WWE, they got the Scarface, they got the Street Fighter, they got the Nickelodeon, they got it all. So make sure you hit that website, oddsocksofficial.com. Save 20% off with the promo code Bootleg Kev. All right? Go do that. Shout out to Odd Socks. Let's get back to the interview. I just think like now it's kind of like somewhere in the middle. Unfortunately, like, you know, like there's not as many gatekeepers, right? There's only a few.
Yeah. And, you know, I mean, I consider Carl Cherry a gatekeeper.
Yeah, and Carl's super tuned in. He is a hip hop fanatic. You know, like
he was a part of the XXL freshman cover.
Yeah, Carl's a fucking one of the good guys, I say, you know. And Carl's taking chances on a lot of artists too. Like there's a kid out of LA named Nana that's incredible that like doesn't even have 10,000 followers, but he's a fucking incredible artist. Grip, who just signed with Shady.
Grip, that's my boy. I love Grip. You know, I found out about Grip. I had a show in Nebraska, and the promoter, he just kept playing Grip. And I'm like, who is this guy? This guy is incredible. He's like, yeah, this guy named Grip, man. He's dope. I DM'd Grip immediately.
He's fire.
I didn't even know he was signing.
He got an album called Snub Nose from 2019 that's fire.
I think that was the album I was listening to. He is incredible. And, you know, I hit him up like, yo, man, I think you're dope. Would love to work. Month later, signed to Shady.
Wow. Kind of break down the fake internet altercations. Obviously, you and Lupe are real close, right? Or like,
yeah, that's my bro.
You guys like were kind of trolling each other for a while there.
I don't know if we was trolling each other. I think it was one of those things where we was just kind of having conversations about hip hop. You know, just trying to, you know, there was this talk about who's the best, and you know, I was just trying to conduct the interview. I
actually think Lupe Fiasco, like lyrically, as like a just pure rapper, he might be like top 5 to 10 ever. I'm not talking about like, and by the way, he's got classic projects.
Yes.
But like, if we're just talking about putting you in a room, here's a pad of paper, go crazy. I'm not sure there's many people in the history of this planet that can hang with Lupe Fiasco. And I say that with all due respect.
I agree. He's one of the greats.
He's my biggest what if.
Yeah.
Like Lupe to me should be on the like when I think of like Lupe's trajectory and like how Atlanta kind of stalled him. I feel like Atlantic stalled him out, and like I feel like at some point in time he might have maybe just lost not necessarily lost passion for the hip hop like as an art form, but just for the industry.
Yeah, I mean, I just think he wanted to do what he wanted to do. And I think Atlantic saw the success of Superstar.
Right. They're like, we need more of that.
We need more of that. And he's like, bruh, I'm an artist. I want to do this.
And then Lasers comes out, and it's like, shout out to my guy Pooh Bear, you know, but at the time it was going by MDMA. But like, there's like a lot of these like commercial, like weird R&B hooks that just didn't feel right. When it's like, yo, that's not why we came here in the first place. That's not why Lupe's got a fucking cult following. They're not here for that shit.
Yeah, I mean, they gave him his biggest records, though. I think, you know.
No, I mean, obviously, yeah. Like you said, the record with Trey was huge.
Trey record was nuts. And even, you know, The Show Goes On. I think that might.
Was that on that album?
Yeah.
Yeah, Show Goes On was huge.
I think that it's either between that or Superstar might be the biggest record.
Yeah, it's one of those two.
You know, those are the two biggest records. So, you know, I think he has a love and hate relationship with Lasers. But, you know, he's still top 5, top 10.
Man, listen, I don't know, was it 2015 that the song Murals came out when he was rapping for 9 minutes straight?
And it was just.
And I just remember like saying, man, anybody who thinks Lupe fell off, just press play on that Murals.
Yo, Mural is
and
nuts.
It's like, what the fuck? Like,
that's Smithsonian rap right there.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. But you have a joint project out with Blu.
Yeah, that's my brother.
Shout out to Blu. Somebody else, you know, his album, that first album with Exile was another moment in Below the Heavens is like a backpack, you know, moment. It was like a moment in backpack history. Yeah. Like that boom bap, like, wow, shit. Like
he was right. I want to say he was right before the blog era, and because that dropped in 2007. So he was right before.
Yeah, because it came out when I was in high school. Yeah.
And that project I'm a fan of that project.
Yeah, so you guys originally met at the cover shoot?
We actually met, we had a show together at Rock the Bells. Was it Rock the Bells? No, it was the Brooklyn Hip Hop Fest. We had a show together. And that's where we first met, and then we met again at the cover.
So you guys have obviously kept rapport throughout the years, and now, you know, whose idea was it to do a project together?
It was mine. We were on tour in 2018, and I was like, yo, I think we should do a project while we were in the car. And he was like, yep. Let's do it. And I was like, all right. So I went, you know, we both was reaching out to different producers to see who could do the whole thing. And we settled on Nottz.
Mm-hmm. Nottz is a legend.
And Nottz was like, yeah, let's do it. So, you know, we just kind of went and picked beats, and we put this project together. It was it's crazy. It's called The Narrative. How
is it, because, you know, when you're working on solo shit, you really only have to worry about like your vision, right? It's not, you know what your perspective is you know how to get your point across. How is the dynamic changing when you bring a whole nother prolific rapper to the table and you guys have to collaborate on like these things?
For the most part, I'm a pretty easygoing MC. A lot of times Blu would have concepts and I'd be like, okay, and I would just run with it. And there were times when, you know, I put like maybe two of the songs together, and he was like, okay, cool. I mean, once you have two people that don't have big egos that come together, they're both just trying to make sure that the project just comes together pretty well. It was a very easy project for us to put together. It took forever to come out because of the features. We were waiting a long time for the features to come.
Who else on the album?
We got Coda the Friend.
Shout out to Coda.
We got Taviana Bell from Tank and the Bangers. Mm-hmm. We have Sari the Kid on there.
He's dope.
Asher Roth is on there.
Shout out to Asher.
Fishawn is on there. Oswin Benjamin.
Oswin is my guy.
I love Oswin.
My producer Tony Chalk and him are doing a whole project together.
Yeah, it's funny because he was going to do High on Life freestyle. I listen. So he calls me while I'm in New York, and he's like, "Yo, Mickey, I got to do a High on Life freestyle," and I was like, "I got to do a Bootleg Kev freestyle, but I haven't written anything yet." And he was like, yo, I'm about to get on a flight. I said, all right, when you land, my verse will be done. So when he landed, I called him. Verse was done, and we both split our verses. And he was like, yo, tell Bootleg Kev I said what's up, because he's on my bucket list. Like,
no, he's coming up here.
Yeah, he was like, yo, he's on my bucket list. I said, yeah, Kev was on my bucket list too.
He lives in my hometown.
He's in Phoenix now.
Yeah, he's in my hometown.
Yeah.
Yeah, Osmond's gonna have a nice career.
He's incredible.
He can do a lot. He can sing, he can rap. He's very, I mean, I don't think like he's had the moment where we can say he slept on yet, but you know, I think he's bubbling, and when his moment comes, it'll be soon, it'll be big. It's
on the way. I believe it's on the way. I think he just has to, figure it out. Once he figures it out, he's out of here.
Yeah, he's got a lot of talent. Yeah, that's dope. So with this album, do you feel like, because I do feel like, was there a point in time where you kind of just stepped away from music?
Yeah, I quit music in 2013, at the end of 2013.
And was that like a hard thing for you to do, man? Because I know this industry will chew you up and spit you out, man.
It was too much that was going on. I left RCA. It just wasn't. It's
a shitty label unless you're a priority. Shout out to RCA, but God bless them. But yeah, if you're not a priority, fuck, they had D1 on RCA forever and didn't know what the fuck to do. Anyway, I digress.
I left, and then I lost a lot of money in 2013 not working, and I had $414 in my bank account, and I was like, man, I'm not doing rap no more. And then 2014 comes around, and I'm like, I couldn't get a job because I hadn't worked since 2007. So by April, when I realized that I couldn't get a job, I was like, well, it's time to rap again. And that just kind of was my resurgence. And I went into my plan B, which was just being this MC that just raps. And people just kind of, it just continued to snowball. And now, I'm here,
Yeah, I think what's dope is like now, there is no middleman if you want to drop music. You just get a DistroKid account and you're on.
And you're on.
And you can run up your indie catalog. And even if you have 1,000 fans that are your core fan base, there's a way to monetize that and make a living off of this rap shit.
Yep. You
just That's why I tell everybody, like, you got to be consistent, and you have to like figure out how to get to a point where you have enough fans that are like diehard fans. It could be 500 kids.
That's all you need.
If they support everything you do,
that's all you need.
And you're strategic and you're smart, you're going to be able to pay your bills off of rap music. You know what I'm saying? And you turn 500 into 600 and so on and so forth. And I think that's what's kind of been dope about like somebody like, what Griselda's done is like they've just racked up so much catalog. And Russ, who took a page out of your book, shout out to Russ. Russ is, did a one song a week for a year. Mm-hmm. But it's like just betting on yourself, knowing, guess what? Not every record's going to be a hit.
No, it doesn't work like that.
But it's okay. Because every record, someone's going to listen to it, and it just it all adds up. Like
it all builds up, it all adds up, and I think that's what matters, right? Like being able to, put out content that your supporters really appreciate, and they want to support you because they feel like you're giving them the soundtrack to not only your life but their life, and that matters to them a lot. So that's
and also puts you in a dope creative position because now you're just giving people what they want, not what the people on the 52nd floor wants.
Right, because they're all about numbers and analytics.
Like, nah, you guys, I'm Mickey Factz. People fuck with me because I can rap my fucking ass off. Right. So let me give y'all some of that. That's how I got here.
That's how I got here. And that's how we're going to stay here.
Yeah, straight up, man. Well, look, the album is out. Go support it.
The Narrative, me, Blu Nottz. Make sure you guys go pick that up. It's crazy.
Yo, go support. Shout out to Nottz, legend. He's from Virginia, right?
Virginia Beach, man. I don't know what's in the water.
He did a whole album with Asher Roth, I believe, that was fucking crazy.
And Blu.
Yeah. Yo,
and me.
Nottz is that guy.
He's incredible.
Yo, shout out to Virginia for producing Pharrell, Timbaland, and Nottz.
And Bink.
And Bink. Wow. I didn't know Bink was from Virginia.
He's from Virginia
Something
Beach.
About something in the water in Virginia for producers, boy.
Is Missy from there?
Yeah. Is she from Virginia? I don't know if Missy's from Virginia.
I mean, I think she is.
She might be.
We're checking that.
Is Magoo from Virginia?
I don't know.
Hey, the first Timbaland and Magoo album finally is on DSP. Shout out to Empire.
Yeah. She is from Virginia. Crazy.
Wow.
And she's a producer too.
The Clips.
The Clips. The Clips.
Chad Hugo. We don't give enough love to Chad.
Chad is, man, monster. Monster.
All right, well, look, there's gonna be another YouTube video where this guy's Dude, look, rapping his ass off.
Blacking out.
Let's go.
Yes, sir.